What I like to refer to as the MCU paradigm has happened again, this time with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The red carpet event happened 2 days ago, and pretty much all anybody wants to talk about are the two post-credit scenes. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk all things major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much more. I'm your host Chris, and no, I have not seen Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I don't know what the post-credit scenes are. In fact, I'll be going into this movie the most blind I have with any Marvel movie in quite some time. Yes, we've heard some leaked plot ideas, and this Kang's gonna do that, and some fun things, but as far as actually knowing what's going to happen in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I have very limited knowledge this time around, and it's been a long time since I've actually had that experience for a Marvel movie, so I'm pretty excited to go in fresh and without knowing. With that being said, I used the word paradigm very early on in this video, and that's a pattern. That's something that we see frequently happen in a grouping of objects. And with Marvel movies, with MCU movies in specific, there is a paradigm that is the post-credit scene issue. Now, this specifically is that a lot of the times, all anybody wants to talk about, us being fans, not just YouTubers and scoopers, is what's coming next. Now, these post-credit scenes definitely hype us up for the future of the MCU. But is it a little too much? What is it that was so exciting about the Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania post-credit scenes? And what does it mean for the future of the multiverse saga? If you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the other major movie and television news updates happening here on the channel. You can also follow me on my other socials, Instagram at Chris M. Rosser and Twitter at TheCultureChris. Links to both of those are in the description down below. So I'm quoting a few friends, people I know personally, and also some major media outlets who will be talking about the post-credit scenes. I can't wait to start talking with you guys about the post-credit scenes. Somebody else said, all you guys are going to want to talk about are the post-credit scenes. This is a little bit of an issue, but I'm going to talk about the issue at the very end of the video because I'm also excited for the post-credit scenes and I want to talk about what they potentially could be. So let's start with that. There are two of them. What could they be? Well, there are a lot of open options, and instead of rattling them all off, I'm just going to take two guesses. I've narrowed it down. One is going to be about Kang, and one is going to be about the Fantastic Four. Now keep in mind, these are absolute guesses coming from me. As I mentioned earlier in the video, these aren't spoilers. This is a theory based off of limited knowledge I have about Ant-Man and the future of the MCU. So both of these could be wrong, one of them could be right, I honestly have no idea. But let's continue on anyway, just for the sake of fun. This will be an awesome theory video, and then at the end we'll talk about if maybe Marvel has a problem. So let's start with Kang. Kang the Conqueror is finally being fully introduced to the MCU. Yes, we met He Who Remains, and he was very ominous and very scary, and died. So now the multiverse is open. It's been confirmed by President Kevin Feige that Spider-Man: No Way Home, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and several other multiverse moments have been made possible by Sylvie stabbing the dagger through He Who Remains' heart and leaving the multiverse to exist. He Who Remains was very simply keeping one timeline so that no other Kangs could come out of the woodwork and cause multiversal mayhem and disorder. That was made very clear, he said several times. Kill me and find out, basically. And one of his more popular phrases, if you think I'm evil, wait until you meet my variants. Well, meet them we shall, and in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the first of the Phase 5 projects and movies to come out, we will be getting a handful of Kang, a real taste of what he, and maybe other variants of his, are capable of in the MCU. We're setting him up as the big bad of the multiverse saga, hopefully to be resolved during Secret Wars. We have a pretty good running assumption that Kang Dynasty will end with Kang or Kangs winning. Secret Wars, which may now be a two-part series, will open up the recovery, exactly kind of like the pattern we saw with Infinity War. However, the difference is Kang is involved a lot earlier. We saw several moments of Thanos post-credit scenes specifically throughout the Infinity Saga. However, in the Multiverse Saga, Kang is going to be a present baddie for, the entire thing now from this point on. We were introduced to him in Loki, and in Phase 5 and Phase 6, we're going to see lots of Kang and the effects he's having in the MCU. A lot of what is going to happen in a post-credit scene about Kang is kind of hard to guess if you don't know what happens in the movie. So, does Kang escape? Does this Kang in particular die, leaving a different, scarier Kang to come out? It has been made very clear by many of the trailers that have released that this Kang is stuck in the quantum realm, and he has a time chair, but he needs a device to power it in order to escape. We even saw in the most recent trailer that Kang's very angry at whoever it was that got him stuck there, which many people are thinking might be Janet Van Dyne during her extended stay in the quantum realm. But it's really just anybody's guess, but I do feel like we will get a story extender as a post-credit scene for Kang specifically. Whether that is the arrival of a new variant of Kang somewhere in the MCU, whether in the Sacred Timeline or in a different universe, and that's going to connect him to a different character, maybe Doctor Strange. Maybe Shang-Chi or the Marvels and the Bangles and the Ten Rings are going to start having a connection to Kang as well. It's difficult to say, but that's going to be my guess for the first post-credit scene. For the second post-credit scene, I have a pretty obvious guess, and that's gotta be something Fantastic Four related. Now, I'm not expecting faces. I'm expecting maybe a quantum realm hint that the Fantastic Four have been there the entire time. It's possible there might be other Easter eggs throughout the movie hinting at the Fantastic Four, but all of this will really depend on if the origin story for the Fantastic Four is going to take place in the quantum realm. There were many rumors and theories, including one of my own going around out there, that the Fantastic Four might not get their powers in space, but in fact might actually have them developed while they were trapped in the quantum realm from some charting they did in the 60s. If the MCU decides to make the Fantastic Four group scientists from the 60s who got trapped in the quantum realm, didn't really age because time passes different in the quantum realm, and are returned to the MCU's Sacred Timeline in 2023, now in Phase 5, well, that would make a lot of sense and is a really good way to explain where they've been, where they've come from, what their story is, without repeating an origin story from a movie that's only 20 years old. And Kevin Feige hates recreating stuff that has already happened. We saw this exact pattern happen with Spider-Man. His origin story had happened so many times, Uncle Ben got shot so many times, Kevin Feige said, you know what, you guys know what it is, we're gonna skip it. Now, it's possible they might skip it for the Fantastic Four and just kind of have them come out of the quantum realm, but it's also possible that, well, maybe they'll change it and they'll send them in the quantum realm and that's how they'll develop their powers. And if that change is happening for the MCU's version of the Fantastic Four, then them showing up at the end of the Ant-Man Quantumania post-credit scenes trying to tease them and hype them up for their eventual movie is a really good idea and something that I know will take a lot of attention away from Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Which brings me to my big point about the MCU paradigm. But I do want to mention, if we get any type of Fantastic Four reveal, my feelings are that it probably won't be the cast, or maybe that will be the way that they announce who will be playing the Fantastic Four. It'd be really fun to see them for the first time in a movie other than at a D23 or at a San Diego Comic-Con have an announcement. Just, wow, there they are on the screen, the four of them. It's been a well-kept secret. So those are the options. Ant-Man kind of brings in the Fantastic Four and also throws a Kang or the same variant of Kang to a different MCU character who will have to now fight him off in another edition of Phase 5 and Phase 6. But MCU paradigm. I've strung you along enough, and you guys kind of probably know where I'm going with this. Is it an issue? The entire movie is about to come out, and all anybody wants to talk about are the two post-credit scenes, which, yes, build and get us excited for the future of the MCU. But should we not take a moment to enjoy the movie we just had? I've heard a lot of really good things about Ant-Man 3. How it was very visually stimulating, how the story was a lot of fun, how a lot of jokes hit really well, and how Kang is a very compelling new big bad in the MCU, and potentially we're going to see some pretty crazy stuff from him. But I also mostly just heard how exciting the post-credit scenes are and how everybody can't wait to talk about them, which I do, in an upset manner, think takes away from the movie just a little bit. The biggest example of this for me was with Venom, which no, isn't an MCU movie, however, had this big, huge post-credit scene bringing Venom and Venom 2 into the MCU. That was all anybody talked about. Actual Venom 2, which was a subpar movie, if we're being honest, definitely earned a C rating, wasn't never discussed. It was just about how Venom's in the MCU and Spider-Man and Venom are going to fight each other. That ultimately all ended up not being really true. Venom ended up returning back to the Sonyverse. But all anybody wanted to talk about after the movie came out was that, 45-second segment at the very end of the film. So, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. That's what we learned about the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania post-credit scenes. They're both insane. I gave you my best guesses with no knowledge of what they actually are. Let me know what your guesses are or what you think of mine in the comment section down below. If you made it to the end of the video, go ahead and reward yourself by hitting that like button. See what I did there? Also, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.